Hello and welcome to Just Hoops. The Western Conference Finals have been phenomenal thus far. The Lakers and Denver Nuggets are battling. Denver is up 2-0, defending home court. But to dive into some numbers before we dive into the video, LeBron James and Anthony Davis are averaging 53 points, 22.5 rebounds, 13 assists, and 8.5 stocks per game so far this series, while Jamal and Jokic are averaging 62.5 points per game, 26.5 rebounds, 18 assists on 53% shooting at the beginning of the series. This video is going to dive into Game 1 and Game 2 to see what we can look forward to in Game 3, 4, and the rest of the series. To look at the team numbers first with Denver, they're potent right now. They're clicking. Everything but the turnovers looks great. A 123.5 offensive rating just pops against the best defense in the NBA playoffs thus far. And to go to the Lakers side of things, the offense isn't clicking as it was in the prior rounds, but they're pretty efficient shooting-wise. They're limiting turnovers. They just need to rebound more and be more efficient in guarding the break of Denver. We're going to first look at the Los Angeles Lakers film and see what adjustments we can look forward to as the series swings back to Los Angeles for Game 3. First things first, for the Lakers, they need to control the pace, play in the half court, make this dirty, gritty, and a slowed down game because Denver is killing them in transition. Denver is killing them when they own the pace, get out and run it, and play with that pop and quickness that makes them so effective. So how can the Lakers do this? First and foremost, score in the paint. Make the paint the priority and just continue to grind out possessions. Play slow, walk the ball up, just do what you do, and how you do it is operating at your pace. So first of all, with the Lakers though, it's scoring paint points. They're top 5 in both field goals attempted and field goal percentage in the paint and at 2-point range for the playoffs. But from 3, they're only shooting 35% of their shots from beyond the arc and 33% from the area of the floor. So they need to get paint points. They need to play out of the paint. They need to get free throws. You can see that they're creating advantages both out of the pick and roll, moving the ball around, just getting downhill, putting pressure on the paint, scoring in this area of the floor, getting to the foul line. I don't care how they do it, but the way in which they make it a priority to get down there, play amongst the trees, use your size as an advantage because Denver really isn't that big outside of Jokic. So getting down there, making plays happen in the paint will definitely give them an advantage at controlling the pace, slowing Denver down, and having a pace advantage throughout the game. In Game 2, they got a big lead because they were able to slow it down, find advantages, and play out of the paint. So they need to do that for 48 minutes to go get a win in Game 3, Game 4, and beyond. Next, offensively, they need to get Anthony Davis going. He's averaging 29 points per game in the series. He had 40 in Game 1, shooting 47.4 from the field in the series and 90.9 from the foul line. This ties into the first point. Playing at their pace and getting downhill and playing out of the paint will coincide with Anthony Davis going. He is the guy that is going to win or lose them this series. Game 2, he did not step up to the plate as much as he needs to for the Lakers to be successful. But you can see in Game 1 specifically, they got him in that gray area, the pocket of the floor, playing out of short rolls, playing off the ball in cutting spots, playing at that logo area of the floor, made him so efficient. They aren't easy looks, but at the end of the day, this is where he can work from, attack downhill, knock down elbow jumpers, more post touches, more elbow touches, feature him in space to create plays for himself. Yes, he doesn't have many shooters around him when they are going because their defense is what gets them going, but he can still attack out of these areas of the floor, make plays in the paint, and be a highly efficient player in these spots. But I think at the end of the day, he needs to use his size advantage, get featured in more post-ups like he did against the Warriors, and in this way, he will be able to control the pace, control the tempo, and get going easy. And lastly, they need to keep a variety of looks against Nikola Jokic. In Game 2, they really did a good job at showing him different looks, different coverages, and at the end of the game, he began to question himself and make slow, not as quick decisions, allowing the Lakers to have an advantage in half-court situations. To start Game 1, they kept it Anthony Davis. He was the primary matchup. They were sending double teams late, early, just at different times to throw wrenches at him. But that difference in timing definitely put Jokic off. And then to end the first quarter and going into the second quarter, they went to AD roving and having a smaller matchup on him. LeBron, Rui Hachimura, different guys that are just there but allow Anthony Davis to do what he's great at and protect the rim. Going into that second quarter, you can see that Rui was the guy for them and that they doubled on the catch sometimes. Sometimes they played it one-on-one, but that variety and just knowing that Anthony Davis was at the rim definitely made it more difficult for Jokic to get good looks, get going, and play well in that first half. To end the first half, you can see Rui is here. They send the double team on the dive. It ends up forcing a tough pass and then a bad shot late in the shot clock just because of the variety of looks and having Anthony Davis at the rim. In the third quarter, LeBron James became that primary defender on Jokic. This again allowed Anthony Davis to rove off the ball, play in space, block shots at the rim, and just be an all-around presence defensively. But the play of Rui and LeBron really did set the tone against Jokic. Yes, Jokic started taking these one-on-one. They weren't really sending doubles. They were just trusting that one-on-one matchup to do their job. And LeBron did it fantastic. He was making sure his chest was in front of him. He was always maintaining contact with Jokic. He did a great job at not letting him drive, just staying in front and being solid. It led to Jokic making slower, not as quick decisions. It led to an offensive foul there. But at the end of the day, LeBron's presence on these plays was massive. And then late game, the Lakers went to a lineup with Rui, LeBron, and Anthony Davis on the three primary guys for the Denver Nuggets, leading to a lot of switchability. It slowed them down massively. Anthony Davis was able to make plays. LeBron was making plays. Rui was making plays, and they were all size guys. They're always having size, length, and strength at the point of attack on the ball, and it also put Anthony Davis in a spot to still rove because he was guarding Aaron Gordon primarily. The way that they went at this matchup in Game 2 was fantastic. I really liked the adjustment by Darvin Ham, and in that fourth quarter, having their three best defenders on the floor in this series, I think that'll be a major point for them moving forward, to always have a Rui, LeBron, AD, Dennis Schroeder lineup, just to have those four switching, flying around, staying connected to Jamal, staying connected to Jokic, and making things as difficult as possible. Now to flip the coin and talk about the Denver Nuggets as they prepare for Game 3 in Los Angeles against the Los Angeles Lakers. So first thing with Denver is the defensive effort, consistency, and just energy. At the end of the day, the Lakers were able to get up big in Game 2 because they were able to get downhill, play out of the paint, and it was because of a lack of attention to detail by the Nuggets and a lack of just overall effort. Yes, at the end of the day, they gave tremendous effort throughout the entirety of the game. It was a big reason why they were able to win. Everyone was exhausted from top to bottom of their rotation because they were giving it their all, but they need to lock in a little bit more defensively and be more consistent at that end of the floor. Their defense becomes their offense, and it's been a massive part of their success throughout the playoffs. They need to be able to limit paint touches. They need to be able to be more consistent in their small ball screen coverages where there's small guys in the action and not Jokic. They need to be better at help outside of Jokic. Jokic is that primary helper for them, but they need to be able to help behind him, fill behind, and be more efficient, effective, and early in those spots of the floor. And when it comes to the low man, they need to be there early. They need to do a great job at loading that rim, plugging that rim as early as possible. It's how their defense works. I think an adjustment moving into Game 3 could be using Aaron Gordon as a rover in this spot, planting him at the rim and always having size down there as that last line of defense. Now, to coincide with their defense, turning defense into offense has been massive all series long. They've been killing the Lakers in transition. The Lakers have not been great in transition defense and getting back. They've been really solid in the half court, but getting out and running, throwing the ball ahead, playing off of each other will be a massive reason why the Denver Nuggets can win this series and win at a high level, because they're able to play off of each other. They got five guys on the floor at all times, basically. They can push it, handle it, and make plays on the break. I think that this is an area of the floor where Aaron Gordon can take off. Bruce Brown's been terrific on the break. You got Jokic leading the charge. You got Jamal running off the ball. You got Jamal with the ball in his hands. You just got a ton of threats that can make plays on the break. And I love when they get out and go, play off of each other. They do a great job at spacing the floor, understanding where to cut, when to cut, how to play off of Jokic, how to play off of Jamal, and just playing with each other in this area of the floor and this part of the game has been massive for them. I really think going forward, the more transition points they can accumulate over a game, the better they'll be, because it'll be easier for them to get these points and it will be higher energy going. Their defense will be clicking, and it's just a way for them to be highly successful without having to grit and grind in the half court like the Lakers want them to. Next, Coach Michael Malone needs to figure out something with the bench minutes. Bruce Brown's been terrific, but outside of Bruce Brown, they're combining for 2.5 points per game, 1.5 rebounds, shooting 28.6 from the field. They need to be better in the minutes without Jokic on the floor, and along with that, Christian Braun and Jeff Green have been cones defensively. They've been hunted out. They've been attacked in rotation. They've been attacked on the ball, off the ball. Regardless of who the guy with the ball in his hands in, the Lakers have seen these guys as barbecue chicken and need to be better at this end of the floor. But at the end of the day, they need to find out how to hide these guys and be more efficient without Jokic in the game and just find ways for them to be successful. And I think that this coincides with them getting out on the break and getting a rhythm that way because these guys can feel involved and also play at a higher level. And lastly, for the Denver Nuggets, they need to clean up their half-court offensive spacing and the way in which they utilize Aaron Gordon. In this play specifically, you can see Aaron Gordon gets off the ball and he's unsure of where to be. His inassertiveness off the ball leads to a tough pass, the clock's low, and a tough shot by Jamal Murray. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the spacing, in all these clips, you'll see that there are 3 or 4 guys in the paint every time Jokic gets a touch. Having multiple guys, including Aaron Gordon, in the dunker spot or at the paint make it more difficult for Jokic to make these plays. Yes, in all of these clips, Jokic makes the shot, makes the assist, and makes a play happen, but the paint is crowded. There's multiple defenders along with multiple offensive players in the paint at these times. I think going into Game 3, they need to be able to limit the amount of bodies that are in the paint and continue to space the floor around Jokic. Regardless if you can shoot it or not, I think being wide will allow Jokic to have the optimal space to work and make the best play possible every time down the floor and make it 10 times easier for him to make these plays happen. In the first half, specifically in Game 2, you can see that there's just different ways in which they used Aaron Gordon for the positive. In that play there, it was a back cut to start the game. In this play here, you're going to see him on the porch, but also giving the space for Jokic to attack and then making the offensive rebound and finishing that play. As you go into the second half, Aaron Gordon did a better job at spacing out on the porch, being a screener, a flare guy, hurting their wheel rotations. Yes, in this clip here, they don't get a good shot, but just because of Aaron Gordon's spacing, they allowed multiple paint touches, and the way he was moving off the ball, screening, and just being active that way was massive. Here you can see that flare again. He's a little bit higher in the dunker, so when Jokic gets that touch, he's able to cut and make a play that way. This clip here was his best clip of the night. You can see he's spaced out wide, like in the dead corner, but inside the three-point line. They reverse it to him into a grenade handoff. He catches it on the pop and is able to drive against the mismatch. Just because he is wider on the floor, it allowed offense to flow, get multiple drives, and play out of the paint. And he was also utilized as a screener late game, putting Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Rui Hachimura in action that way. This series has been nothing short of fireworks so far. I'm excited to see what adjustments Coach Malone and Coach Ham have for Game 3, but moving forward, I'm just excited to watch great basketball on Saturday. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, learned something about the Western Conference Finals. For more content like this, please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll catch you in the next one.